Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 3T Path channel. My name is Giridhari Das, and today I want to give a message out to those who are dealing with the death of a loved one or who worry about how to deal with the death of a loved one. Now, the first thing we have to understand, the first instruction from yoga, from Bhagavad Gita, the first thing Krishna teaches Arjuna is that we are eternal souls. That is the most important thing for you to start thinking right now. We are all eternal souls. The body changes, but the soul is the same. We have lived since time immemorial, and we will live forevermore. We'll never die. We were never born, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So, death is the only certain thing in life. Everything else may or may not happen, but death is the one thing that is certain. And it's strange and mysterious that we don't think about it enough, that we ignore it, that we choose not to think about death. And then when it comes, when somebody close to us dies, and then we're in shock, we're hurting, we're in a spiral because we never prepared ourselves for something that was so obvious, that was necessarily would have to happen, the death. All relationships must come to an end. It's strange to think that, but it's the truth. Everyone you know, you will lose contact with every single person you know, every animal you love, everyone you'll cease, that relationship will end through death. It's a certain thing, either your death or their death, but it's an absolute certain thing that will end. So what we should do is right now understand that and make the most of our relationships. Thinking about death makes us enjoy life more, makes us make more of life, because you're conscious of the obvious fact that this will end. Your contact with that other eternal soul will end through death. So what happens is, for the person who's dying, death is not bad. Death is actually a good thing. Death is good for the soul. The soul doesn't want to be stuck in a material body. In the Vedas, all of the universe is compared to a prison cell, and the body compared to a cage. When you get a little bird, beautiful bird, should be free out flying, and you put it in a little cage. That's what it's compared to. That's what it's like. The soul being trapped in a material body is like a beautiful bird trapped in a small cage. It's not a natural situation, so it's good for the soul to leave the body, to start a new chapter in material life in his progress back home, back to God. Or better yet, if that soul used his life or her life to develop self-realization, to develop his spirituality, then to go back home, back to God. It is a wonderful, amazing moment of liberation. Now what happens is, we who are left behind, we suffer. But we shouldn't suffer. We should see it from the point of view of the departed. You've never seen anyone lament having died. Nobody, the Vedas say we've died millions of times. Millions of times we've died. And nobody's like complaining, oh man, I wish I hadn't died. Nobody's saying that. Everybody, why? Because life goes on. Death is just a change of scenery, change of body. Like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna was worried about his older relatives dying in the battle of Kurukshetra. And Krishna says, it's going to be good for them. They'll get a new body. They've got this old body now. Now they get a new body. That's not a good deal, right? You have an old car and you give me your old car, I'll give you a new one. Like Mr. Beast style. I'll give you a brand new car. It's a good deal. Good for the soul who's going. It's bad for us who are left behind, mostly because we don't see it from their perspective. We're being selfish, and we're seeing it from our perspective. True love is to see things from the perspective of the loved one. When we're selfish, we see it from our perspective. So from our perspective, it's a little sad we lost contact with that person, but it's because we didn't prepare ourselves for the obvious fact that we were going to lose that contact. We didn't prepare ourselves for the inevitable fact, absolutely inevitable fact, that that relationship was going to come to an end. And all things come to an end. So if we're prepared now, if you're watching this now and you start preparing yourself like, yes, I'll make the most of life, knowing that all these relationships will come to an end. All my friends, family, dogs, pets, all of them, I'll lose contact with all at some point, somehow. And then so if you're left behind, what you have to do is you have to close that cycle. Just close it. It's done. It's finished. So you must accept that that cycle had a beginning, a middle, and now the end has come. And you close it with gratitude, with love, with honor, but it's closed now. That cycle is closed. My relationship with that person, that is closed. That is finished. Now I have other relationships I can take care of, and now I can also prepare for my own departure. But that's finished. That's done with. It's like, can you imagine you're in a prison cell again? And you have friends there. Prisoners make friends with their, co-prisoners. And so your cellmate is getting freed today. His day has come. His sentence is up. Will you be sad because your cellmate is leaving? No, you'll be happy, right? You should be joyful. You shouldn't be sad. It'd be very selfish of you to be sad that your friend's leaving jail. It's like you should be happy for him. He's finally getting out of jail. It's great. He's getting out of prison. And that's exactly what death is. That person just finally gets to get away from that prison of his material body. All his problems, all her problems are over. People don't realize death can be a wonderful thing. All your problems are over. All your debts, over. All the work you had to do, everything's done. That's a beautiful thing about death. If it wasn't for death, can you imagine we'd be getting deeper and deeper into problems and debts and worries and accumulating. Death just clears the slate. So it's a wonderful thing for the soul. It's actually a true blessing of God that death exists, because people would just get trapped in these horrible lives if death didn't exist. It would be horrible. People wouldn't know what to do. They would just get more, weird in their little tendencies and deeper into their weirdness, just intensifying. No. So death clears the slate, you get a new start. So we who were left behind, we should be happy. Oh, you're gone now. Good for you, honor them. Honor their lives. Be grateful for the contact you had, and then focus on the other relationships you have, and focus on you preparing yourself. So I hope this helps. I hope this information might help you overcome the loss of, or just prepare yourself. And make the most of the relationships you do have now. If you haven't lost anyone, great. Make the most of it now, because it's gonna end. For you, for them, you first, them first, it's gonna end. So make the most of it right now. And then go beyond all that and think, but what is my real life? What should I really be doing? And then put all your focus on your spiritual development, so that this will be the last time you have to live here. Hare Krishna.